Cleveland Indians baseball. It is April 17th, 1971, and Cleveland Indians will be facing the Washington Senators. Cleveland's gotten off to a good start this season. They're currently 4-2. They lost on opening day in Detroit, then they swept 3 from Chicago. Missed the Baltimore night because of a rainout. Beat the Orioles in a pitcher's duel between Sam McDowell and Mike Cuellar 2-1. Game highlighted by Roy Foster's 2-run home run in the 8th inning. And then Thursday night, Baltimore came back to beat Cleveland 10-8. In a game which did feature the Indians scoring 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th, so they did not go out easily. Today's game from Cleveland Stadium will be the Cleveland Indians taking on the Washington Senators. Earlier this week, in fact, it was the night that the game was rained out, there was a fire at the Pick Carter Hotel in downtown Cleveland. And 4 American League umpires were staying there, and they had to evacuate via a fire truck ladder. 7 people ended up getting killed in that fire. I wasn't familiar with the hotel's name. I had to look it up and discovered that the Pick Carter Hotel, which was on Prospect just east of East 9th, which would be practically right around the corner from Progressive Field now, never reopened after the fire. The building was sold and redeveloped, and now it's affordable housing for seniors and people with disabilities. I've probably driven past it without realizing it. Also, there was a death this week from a figure in the fairly long ago Cleveland sports scene. Dan Reeves, the owner of the Rams, who was the owner who moved the Rams from Cleveland to Los Angeles after the 1945 NFL season. Okay, I'm going to take a break, and we will be back in a few minutes. All right, we're at Cleveland Stadium for today's game. Cleveland Indians are 4-2. They're tied for second place with the New York Yankees. They're taking on the Washington Senators, who are 5-4, and they're in 4th place. Dick Bosman takes him out for Washington. He's made 3 starts on the year. He's 2-1 with an ERA of 4.26. And he'll be opposed by Steve Hargan for Cleveland. He's made 2 starts on the year and is 1-1 with an ERA of 5.40. It's 64 degrees here at the lakefront with a wind speed of 11 miles per hour. Blowing from left to right, so it'll be a chilly day down at the lakefront. Here's a 2-2 pitch from Hargan to Toby Harrah. Strike 3 called, 1 out. Baltimore's starting lineup will be Toby Harrah, who just struck out. Leading off, he is a shortstop. Batting second, the center fielder, Curt Flood. Batting third, the first baseman, Mike Epstein. Batting fourth, the third baseman, Joe Foy. Batting fifth, the left fielder, Frank Howard. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Tom McCraw. Batting seventh, the catcher, Jim French. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Tim Cullen. And batting ninth, the pitcher, Dick Bosman. On defense, Cleveland will line up with Ken Harrelson at first base, Eddie Leone at second base, Larry Brown at shortstop, Greg Nettles at third, Roy Foster in left, Vada Pinson in center, John Lowenstein in right, Ray Fosse catching, and on the mound is Steve Hargan. Hargan is a fastball pitcher. Can usually get the ball up to around 90 miles per hour. He's had an up and down career with Cleveland, mainly the down portions, mainly due to injuries. He was the Indians' opening day starter. He went 5 2/3 innings that day. Indians lost to Detroit 3-2. And then he pitched against Boston, pitched 6 innings on April 10th. The Indians won that game 7-4, and he got the win. So he is 1-1 on the year. Here is Curt Flood, center fielder. Flood was out of baseball last year. He was traded to the Phillies, refused to report, set off a lawsuit against Major League Baseball against reserve clause, a lawsuit that ultimately failed. And he was reported to have spent most of the year last year in Denmark. While his contract was still held by the Phillies, they traded him to Washington for a couple minor leaguers. And Flood was not sure if he wanted to report or not to Washington. And Washington's manager, Ted Williams, got a hold of Flood and told him that he thought that Flood could still play, and he wanted him on his team, so Flood decided to report. Curt Flood this year is hitting .222. He has no home runs and 2 runs batted in. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Here is Mike Epstein, who's hitting .121, 1 home run and 4 runs batted in. Epstein's a power hitter. Swing and a miss, strike 1. It's in the dirt, it gets past Fosse. Flood breaks for second. Fosse's throw, oh, it went into center field. Flood takes third. They're giving Hargan a wild pitch, and Fosse an error. Here is the 1-1 pitch to Mike Epstein. He looked at strike 2. Too high, ball 2. It's a deep fly ball to center. Pinson near the track. He's got it. Flood breaks for the plate to throw. And Flood scores easily. That'll make it 1-0 Washington. Here is is Joe Foy, who's hitting .323, no home runs. He has a 1 run batted in. Foy, a longtime member of the Red Sox, went over to the Royals in the expansion draft in 1969, and then was traded to the Mets last season. So after a year in the National League, he is back in the American League. And he's got himself off to a good start. Fouls it, right off of Fossey's mask. The 0-1 pitch. It's base in the center. This will be extra bases. Foy slides into second with a double. Here is Frank Howard. Howard's hitting .258. He has 3 home runs and 8 runs batted in. Frank Howard was the MVP back in 1968. The Indians have reportedly been trying to acquire Frank Howard since sometime in the 1969 season. He's an Ohio native from Columbus, played his college ball at Ohio State. Strike one called, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's a liner in center field. That'll be it. Extra bases as well. Howard with his 3rd double. And that scored Joe Foy, and it's 2-0 Washington. Here is Tommy McCraw, who's hitting .417, 1 home run, 2 runs batted in. McCraw, formerly with the White Sox. And spoiler alert, he will be a future member of the Cleveland Indians. Swing and a miss, strike 1. It's called strike 2. It's fly ball in the right field. John Lowenstein is there, and he's got it. But Washington gets 2 runs, 2 hits. There was 1 error. They left 1. We go to the bottom of the 1st. It is Washington 2, Cleveland coming to bat. For the Indians, they will line up as followed. Leading off will be the right fielder, John Lowenstein. Batting second to center fielder, Vada Pinson. Batting third to catcher, Ray Fosse. Batting fourth to third baseman, Greg Nettles. Batting fifth to first baseman, Ken Harrelson. Batting sixth to left fielder, Roy Foster. Batting seventh to shortstop, Larry Brown. Batting eighth to second baseman, Eddie Leone. And batting ninth to pitcher, Steve Hargan. On defense, Washington will have Mike Epstein at first, Tim Cullen at second, Toby Harrah at shortstop, Joe Foy at third, Frank Howard in left, Curt Flood in center, Tom McCraw on right, Jim French catching, and on the mound, Dick Bosman. Dick Bosman's fastball pitcher. He has a record of 2-1. He has made 3 starts, pitched 19 innings, given up 9 runs, all earned. He has walked 9, struck out 11. Here is John Lowenstein leading off. He's hitting .333, no home runs and no runs batted in. He is 1 for 3 on the season. The 0-1 pitch. It's a base hit into center field. Flood tosses it back in. Here's Vada Pinson, center field. He's hitting 273 with no home runs and 3 runs batted. Throw to first. Lowenstein's back. Gets a fly ball to center field. Flood drifting back, and he's got it. 1 out. Here is Ray Fosse, who's hitting 364. No home runs. He has 4 runs batted in. Curveball, ball 1. It's a fly ball in left field. Frank Howard is there, and he's got it. 2 outs. Here's Greg Nettles, who is hitting 478. He has 4 home runs and 9 runs batted in. He has 11 hits so far. 4 of them were doubles and 4 were home runs. He's already scored 8 runs this season. He is tied with Tony Oliva and Harmon Killebrew for home runs in the American League. Too low, ball 1.
Foul ball.
Fouls it back. That caught the corner. Strike 2. It's a fly ball in right field. McCraw under it, and he's got it. 3 outs. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We played 1 in Cleveland. It is Washington 2, Cleveland nothing. For the Senators in the second, it will be Jim French, Tim Cullen, and Dick Bosman. Jim French, the catcher, is hitting 417. No home runs. He has 2 runs batted in. The 2-2 pitch. It's a grounder to short. Brown is up with it. Throw to first, and 1 out. Here's the second baseman, Tim Cullen. He's hitting 321 with no home runs and 4 runs batted in. The 1-1 pitch. It's base hit in the left field. Roy Foster's up with it and tosses it back in. Here is Dick Bosman. He is 0 for 7 as a hitter this year. He scored 1 run. They're playing him up for the bunt. Bunt. It's a pop-up. Harrelson coming in. He dives and he makes the catch. 2 outs, but there was no chance to double up Cullen, though. Here is Toby Harrow, who's 0 for 1. He struck out in the first inning. High and tight, ball 1. Strike 1 called. Low, ball 2. It's bounced to third. Nettles is up with it. Throw to first. And that'll be all for Washington. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We're going to the bottom of the second. It is the Senators 2, the Indians nothing. For Cleveland in the second, it will be Ken Harrelson, Roy Foster, and Larry Brown. Harrelson is hitting 350, 2 home runs, and 8 runs batted in. The 1-2 pitch. It's a high fly ball in center field. Flood going back at the wall, and it's gone. Home run number 3 for Ken Harrelson. And that cuts Washington lead in half. It is 2-1. Here is Roy Foster. He's hitting 200. 1 home run, 3 runs batted in. His home run came Wednesday night in the bottom of the 8th. The Orioles were leading the Indians 1-0, and bottom Bottom of the 8th, Foster hit a 2-run homer. Then Steve McGorry came in, shut the door on the Orioles, and the Indians beat them 2-1. The 1-1 pitch. It's fly ball to center field. Flood drifting over, and he's got it. 1 out. Here is Larry Brown, shortstop. He's hitting 167. No home runs and no runs batted in. The 2-0 pitch. It's a grounder to short. Hara up with it. Throw to first. Two outs. And here is Eddie Leon, who's hitting 263. No home runs and 2 runs batted in. The 1-1 pitch. It's a fly ball in the right field. McCraw's there, and he's got it. 3 outs. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. None left. After 2, it is Washington 2, Cleveland 1. Larry Brown got hurt running out that ground out. Taking over at shortstop is rookie Luca Milli. For Washington in the 3rd, it will be Curt Flood, Mike Epstein, and Joe Foy. Curt Flood walked his last time up. 1-2 pitch. Hits fly ball to center. Pinson's there, and he makes the catch. 1 out. Here is Mike Epstein. He had a sacrifice fly that scored Curt Flood last time up. The 0-2 pitch. Fly ball down the left field line. Foster running after it, and he's got it. 2 outs. And here's Joe Foy, who's 1 for 1. He doubled his last time up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foy hits base hit into center field. Joe Foy last year, he was on the Mets team that made it to the World Series, but were ultimately defeated by the Minnesota Twins. Here's Frank Howard. He's 1 for 1. He doubled in the 1st and drove in Joe Foy. That's too low. Ball 1. Deep fly to left field. Foster going back. That is gone. There was no doubt about that one. 2-run homer for Frank Howard. And that makes it 4-1 Washington. Let's watch that again. Yeah, Hargan left that right over the heart of the plate. And Howard just jumped on it. Here's Tom McCraw. He is 0 for 1. He flied to center last time up. The 0-2 pitch. It's a grounder to short. Camilli up with it. Throw to first. Bang, bang, play. He's out. But Washington gets 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, no one left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It is Washington 4, Cleveland 1. For Cleveland in the 3rd, it will be Steve Hargan, John Lowenstein, and Vada Pinson. Steve Hargan is Steve Hargan is 0 for 5 as a hitter this year. The 0-1 pitch. Hargan hits a base hit in the left field. Howard throws it back in. Here is John Lowenstein. He's 1 for 1. He singled in the 1st. Ball 1. Strike 1 at the belt. Ball went inside, ball 2. It's a slow roller to first. Epstein has it. He'll take it himself. 1 out. Hargan advances to second. Here's Veda Pinson, who's 0 for 1. He flied to deep center in the first. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Ball 1. It's a roller down the third base line, but that's foul. Ball 2. Pops it up. First base side. Epstein's after it, but it makes the seats. Ball 3. Full count. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Dick Bosman. 2 outs, and here's Ray Fosse, who's 0 for 1. He flied to deep left field last time up. Down and in, ball 1. Greg Nettles is on deck. Ball 2. It's a fly ball to right field. Across there, and he's got it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We played 3 in Cleveland. It is Washington 4, Cleveland 1. For Washington in the 4th, it will be Jim French, Tim Cullen, and Dick Bosman. French is 0 for 1. He grounded to the shortstop in the second inning. The 1-2 pitch. Liner down the first base line, but that's foul. Ball 4. Here's Tim Cullen, who's 1 for 1. He singled his last time up in the second inning. It's a base hit into center field. Pitch is coming in, and French will stop at second. Here's Dick Bosman. He bunts. Fosse throws him out at first. 1 away. And French takes third, and Cullen takes second on the sacrifice. Here is Toby Harrah, who is 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded to third. Another spoiler alert, Toby Harrah, future member of the Cleveland Indians. Called, strike 1. Too low, ball 1. Strike 2 called. Too high, ball 2. Fly ball in the left field, Foster's after it, but it makes the seats. Strike 3 called. Strikeout number 2 for Hargan. That is the second time Harrah struck out today. Here is Curt Flood, who's 0 for 1. He walked in the first, and he flied to center in the third. Too low, ball 1. Just outside, ball 2. Low, ball 3. Caught the outside corner, strike 1. Just below the belt, strike 2. Full count, 2 outs. It's a fly ball to center. Pinson's there, and he's got it. 3 outs, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It is Washington 4, Cleveland 1. In the 4th inning for Cleveland, it will be Greg Nettles, Kent Harrelson, and Roy Foster. Nettles is 0 for 1. He flied out last time up. 3-2 pitch, ball 4. Here is Ken Harrelson. He is 1 for 1. He hit a solo home run in the second inning. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Too high, ball 1. That was outside, ball 2. 3, 3 balls, 1 strike.
Ball 4.
Ball 4. Indians have runners on first and second. Nobody out. Here is Roy Foster, who's 0 for 1. He flied out in the second inning. Pops it up on the infield. Epstein will take it.
Infield fly. Batter's out.
They called the infield fly on that one. 1 out. Here is Lou Camilli. His first time up today. He is 2 for 2 on the season. Been up twice and has hit 2 doubles. Too low, ball 1. At the knee, strike 1.
Ball.
Fouls it back. Strike 2. High and tight, ball 2. Camilli's in, replacing the injured Larry Brown.
Ball.
Just off the ground, ball 3. Full count. It's fly ball down the right field line. McCraw is after it. He's got it. And Nettles will stay put at second. Here comes manager Ted Williams, and that will be all for Dick Bosman. Coming in to pitch is Jackie Brown. Brown is making his 3rd appearance of the season. He's pitched 3 2/3 innings, given up 2 hits. No walks, no strikeouts. He has no record, and ERA is 0. Opposition is hitting .154 against him, and he has a whip of .545. And spoiler alert, just like Dick Bosman, Jackie Brown is a future member of the Cleveland Indians. Here's Eddie Leone. He's 0 for 1. He flied out last time up. He swung at a bad pitch. Strike 1. It's a base hit in the left field. Howard up with it. Nettles rounds 3rd. Nettles will score. Teddy Garrett did not get a good jump on that. That makes it 4 to 2. Here's Steve Hargan, who is 1 for 1 today. He singled in 3rd. Breaking ball, ball 1. I caught the corner, strike 1.
Foul tip.
Foul tip, strike 2.
Strike 3.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jackie Brown with the strikeout, but the Indians get 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. They left 1 man on. We have played 4 complete. It is Washington 4, Cleveland 2. For Washington in the 5th, it will be Mike Epstein, Joe Foy, and Frank Howard. Epstein is 0 for 1. He had a sacrifice fly in the 1st, and he flied out in the 3rd. The 3-2 pitch. Base hit into right field. He's looking at second. He's making the move for second. Lowenstein throws. It'll be close. Camilli tags. He's out. So here is Joe Foy, who's 2 for 2. Doubled in the 1st and singled in the 3rd. 1-2 pitch. Shallow fly ball into center field. Pinson coming in, and he's got it. 2 outs. Here is Frank Howard, who's 2 for 2. doubled in the first, scoring Joe Foy, and he had a 2-run homer in the third. So he has 3 RBIs today. The 0-1 pitch.
Foul tip.
Foul tip. Strike 2. It's a fly ball in the left field. Roy Foster's there, and he's got it. 3 outs, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, no one left. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It is Washington 4, Cleveland 2. For Cleveland in the 5th, it will be John Lowenstein, Vada Pinson, and Ray Fosse. Lowenstein is 1 for 2. He singled in the first and grounded out in the third. It's grounded to third. Foy with a dive. Has it. Throws him. It was a nice play by Joe Foy. 1 out. Here's Vada Pinson, who's 0 for 2. He flied out and struck out. The 0-1 pitch. It's base hit into center field. This will be extra bases. Pinson in with a stand-up double. That got past Kurt Flood. And it was bouncing around a little bit. 1 out, runner on second, and here is Ray Fosse, who is 0 for 2. Got to fly out in the first, fly out in the third. Inside on the black, strike 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. That bounced on the way to the plate, ball 1. Too high, ball 2.
Strike 3.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 2 for Brown. And here's Greg Nettles, who's 0 for 1. He flied out in the first, walked in the fourth. Swing and a miss, strike 1. It's fly ball to right field. McCraw under it, and he's got it. 3 outs, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. 1 left. We played 5. It's an official game here in Cleveland. It is Washington 4, Cleveland 2. For Washington in the 6th will be Tom McCraw, Jim French, and Tim Cullen. McCraw is 0 for 2 today. Flied out in the first, grounded out in the third. The 2-1 pitch. Pops it up, third base side.
Foul ball.
Nettles is after it, but it makes the seats. The 2-2 pitch. Base hit into left field. Foster throws it back in. Here is Jim French, who's 0 for 1. He grounded out in the second and walked in the fourth. Fosse to the mound. It's a bunt by French. Fosse's up with it. Throw to Leone. And French is out. McCraw moves to second on the sacrifice. Here is Tim Cullen, who's 2 for 2. He singled in the first and singled in the fourth. Sitting 167 with runners in scoring position. Caught the outside corner, strike 1. It's a fly ball in the left field. Foster's there, and he's got it. McCraw tags up and takes third. 2 outs. Pinch hitting for Jackie Brown will be Elliot Maddox. Maddox is hitting .316 this year. 1 home run, 3 runs batted in. Let's see, as a pinch hitter, he is 1 for 2 with a 1 1 home run and 3 runs batted in. Maddox came over from Detroit with Denny McLain in the trade that sent Aurelio Rodriguez, Ed Brinkman, and Joe Coleman to the Tigers. Changeup. Hits a slow roller to short. Camilli up with it. Throw to first. Throw is low. Harrelson knocked it down. But Maddox is safe. And McCraw scored. It is 5-2. Here is Toby Harrow, who's over 3. He has a pair of strikeouts and a ground out. That was right down the middle for strike 1. Popped it up. Camilli in foul ground after it. And he's got it. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It is Washington 5, Cleveland 2. New pitcher for Washington is Joe Grisenda. He's making his 6th appearance of the season. He has 1 save. In 6 2/3 inning, he has given up 6 hits. He has walked 3 and struck out 6. He has an ERA of 4.05. He's a lifetime record of 17-17 with 8 saves. In 162 games pitched, he has made 1 start. So he has been strictly a relief pitcher. For Cleveland in the 6th, it will be Harrelson, Foster, and Camilli. Harrelson is 1 for 1. He homered in the 2nd and walked in the 4th. Warming up in the Indians' bullpen is Vince Colbert. The 2-2 pitch. It's bounced to 3rd. Foy up with it to throw to 1st. 1 out. Here's Roy Foster, who's 0 for 2. He flied out and he popped out. The 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. 2 outs. And here's Lou Camilli, who's 0 for 1. He flied to right field in 4th. The 3-0 pitch. Ball 4. Camilli's taken all the way. Here, Eddie Leon, who is 1 for 2. Flied out in the 2nd. He singled in the 4th. That scored Greg Nettles. It made it 4-2, Washington. Caught the corner, strike 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Strike 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. We played 6. It is Washington 5, Cleveland 2. Coming in to pitch for Cleveland is Vince Colbert. He's making his 3rd appearance of the year. He has pitched 2 1/3 innings. He's given up 2 hits, no walks, 1 strikeout. He has no wins, losses, or saves, and an ERA of 3.86. It'll be Curt Flood, Mike Epstein, and Joe Foy in the 7th. Flood is 0 for 2. He had a walk and a pair of flyouts. Ball 4, he walks. Here is Mike Epstein, who's 1 for 2. Hit a sacrifice fly, flied out in the third, and then singled in the fifth. And he was out trying to stretch it into a double. Roller down the first base line. That's foul. Deal 1 pitch. Strike 2. Too low, ball 1. Epstein hits fly ball in right field. Lowenstein is there. He's got it. 1 out. Here is Joe Foy, who's 2 for 3. Doubled in the first, singled in the third, and flied out in the fifth. Low, ball 1. Strike 1 called. Too low, ball 2. They caught the black on the outside. Strike 2. It's grounder to second. Leone to Camilli to first. Double play. 4-6-3 double play. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It is Washington 5, Cleveland 2. Pinch hitting for Cleveland is Chuck Hinton. And there's a new pitcher for Washington. It's Horacio Pena. He's making his 6th appearance of the year. Pena came over to Washington from Cleveland for the trade that I believe brought Mike Paul to the Indians. Pena has pitched 5 1/3 innings, given up 4 hits. He has walked 6. He struck out 2. He's a record of 1-0 with an ERA of 1.69. Chuck Hinton's hitting .250 with 1 home run and 3 runs batted in. He is 1 for 4 on the season. And his 1 hit was a home run. He's 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Here is John Lowenstein, who's 1 for 3. He singled in the first. And grounded out in the third and in the fifth. The 1-2 pitch. It's a fly ball in the right field. McCraw's under it. And he's got it. That was McCraw's 7th put out of the game. Here comes Ted Williams, and they are making another pitching change. It is Denny Riddleberger coming in to pitch. He's making his 7th appearance. He's pitched 6 2/3 innings, given up 10 hits. 1 of those a home run. He has walked 4, struck out 4. He has no record this year so far and an ERA of 8.10. And another spoiler alert, Denny Riddleberger, future member of the Cleveland Indians. 2 outs, and here's Vada Pinson, who's 1 for 3. Flied out in the first, struck out in the third, and doubled in the fifth. The 2-0 pitch. Fly ball in the right field. McCraw near the track. He dives, and he makes a great catch. He saved at least a double, possibly a triple on that one. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one. We played 7 here in Cleveland. It is Washington 5, Cleveland 2. New pitcher for the Indians in the 8th inning. It is Chuck Mashmel. making his 4th appearance of the year. He has 1 save and an ERA of 6.75. He's pitched 2 2/3 innings, given up 6 hits, 1 of those a home run. He walked 3 and he struck out 3. In the 8th for Washington, it is Frank Howard, Tom McCraw, and Jim French. Frank Howard is 2 for 3. He doubled in the 1st, driving in a run. Hit a 2-run homer in the 3rd and flied out in the 5th. He has 3 RBIs today. The 2-2 pitch. He tipped it, but Fosse held on. Strike 3, 1 out. Here's Tom McCraw, who's 1 for 3. Flied out, grounded to short, and then he singled in the 6th. And he finished up the bottom of the 7th, making a great catch in the outfield. The 3-0 pitch. Ball 4. Got walked on 4 straight pitches. Here's Jim French, who's 0 for 1. Grounded out in the 2nd, walked in the 4th, and hit a sacrifice bunt in the 6th. High, ball 1. Tipped it back, strike 1. High and inside, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. I caught the corner, strike 2. Hits a grounder to 2nd. Leone tosses to short. Throw to 1st, not in time. 2 outs, and here is Tim Cullen, who is 2 for 3. Singled in the 2nd, singled in the 4th, and flied out in the 6th. It's a bouncer to 1st. Harrelson is up with it. He'll take it himself. 3 outs. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It is Washington 5, Cleveland 2. New catcher for Washington. Dick Billings is coming in to catch. Billings appeared in 29 games in 1969 and 5 games last year. Facing Denny Riddleberger in the bottom of the 8th will be Ray Fosse, Greg Nettles, and Ken Harrelson. Ray Fosse is 0 for 3. Flied out in the 1st, flied out in the 3rd, and struck out in the 5th. The 1-2 pitch. Base hit into left field. Here comes Williams, and that'll be all for Denny Riddleberger. Coming in to pitch is Darryl Knowles. Knowles is making his 5th appearance of the year. He has pitched 5 1/3 innings, given up 3 hits. He has walked 4, struck out 7. He has no wins or losses, but he has 2 saves. His ERA is 3.38. Knowles started out with Baltimore in 1965, pitched with the Phillies in 1966, and has been a member of the Senators since 1967. He's pitched in 281 games in his career, all but 10 of those in relief. Here is Greg Nettles, who's 0 for 2. He flied out in the 1st, walked in the 4th, and flied out in the 5th. Too low, ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. He got a piece of that one, strike 2. I'm sure the people in the crowd are remembering the game 2 nights ago, or 2 days ago. Cleveland hasn't played a night game at the stadium yet this year, when they were Down by 6 in the bottom of the ninth, and they scored 4 runs in the bottom of the ninth. 1-2 pitch. Fly ball to right field. McCraw going back. It is in the crowd. Just missed a home run there. Too high, ball 2. Full count. Ball 4. Here's Ken Harrelson, who's 1 for 2. He homered in the second, walked in the fourth, and grounded out in the sixth. Late called strike, strike 1. Outside, ball 1. Too low, ball 2. That caught the corner, strike 2. Outside, ball 3, full count. Ball 4. Second walk in the inning given up by Knowles. Bases loaded, nobody out. Indians are down by 3, and here is Roy Foster, who's 0 for 3. Flied out in the second, popped out in the fourth, struck out in the sixth. Ball 1. Outside low, ball 2. It's a liner right to the shortstop. And Hera makes the catch, 1 out. Here is Lou Camilli, who's 0 for 1. He flied out in the fourth and walked in the sixth. Too high, ball 1. It's off the plate, outside, ball 2. Ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Strike 1 called. Camilli was taken all the way on that. Swing and a miss, strike 2. It's a bouncer to short. Hera to second. To first. Double play. And Knowles gets out of the jam. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We have played 8. It is Washington 5, Cleveland 2. In the 9th inning for Washington, it will be the pitcher spot. Toby Hera and Curt Flood. And pinch hitting for Knowles will be Bernie Allen. Bernie Allen is 0 for 4 on the season. He's 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter. The 1-2 pitch. Bouncer to third. Nettles up with it. Throw to first. He's out. 1 out. Here is Toby Hera, who's 0 for 4. Struck out in the first, grounded out in the second, struck out in the fourth, and popped out in the third. Or the sixth, I'm sorry. It's bouncer to short. Camilli has it. 2 outs. Here's Curt Flood, who's 0 for 2. He walked, flied out in the third, flied out in the fourth, and walked in the seventh. The 1-1 pitch. Fly ball down the left field line. That's foul. Ball 4. Second walk given up by Mashmo. And here is Mike Epstein, who's 1 for 3. In a sacrifice fly in the first, flied out in the third, singled in the fifth, and flied out in the seventh. Way off the plate, ball 1. That was a late call strike, strike 1. Ball 2. It was a foul tip. Up and away, ball 3. Ball 4. Another 2-out walk. Runners on first and second. 2 outs. Rick Austin getting up to warm up in the bullpen. Here's Joe Foy, who's 2 for 4. He doubled in the first, singled in the third, flied out in the fifth, and grounded into a double play in the seventh. Up and in, ball 1. Inside, ball 2. Pops it up, foul ground. Nettles under it, and he's got it. 3 outs. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It is Washington 5, Cleveland 2. Jerry Janeski coming in to pitch for Washington. He's making his 4th appearance. He's pitched 7 2/3 innings. Given up 9 hits. He's walked 3, struck out 2. He has a record of 1-0 with an ERA of 2.35. Facing him in the bottom of the 9th will be Eddie Leone, the pitcher's spot, and John Lowenstein. Eddie Leone is 1 for 3. Flat out in the second. Single in the fourth, driving in a run, and struck out in the 6th. It's a base hit in the center. Flood tosses it back. Pitch hitting for Nashville will be Ted Ullander. Ted Ullander is 0 for 3 on the season so far. Warming up for the Indians is Ray Lamb. Ullander hits a line drive right to third. And it is right at Foy. 1 out. Here's John Lowenstein, who's 1 for 4. He singled in the first. Grounded out in the third, grounded out in the fifth, and flied out in the 7th. Strike 1. Ball 1. Pops up, foul ground. Collins after it, but it makes the seats. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Too high, ball 2. Pops it up, first base side. Epstein's after it. But that makes the seats. Fly ball down the right field line. McCraw going after it, but that's foul out. Ball 3, full count. Ball 4. Runners on first and second. 1 out. And here is Vada Pinson representing the tying run. He's 1 for 4 today. Flied out in the first, struck out in the third, doubled in the fifth, and flied out in the 7th. Sitting 250 with runners in scoring position. Ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Ball 2. Strike 2 called. Base hit in the right field. McCraw coming in. Leone stops at third. Bases loaded. 1 out. Steven's too slow on that one. Bases loaded. 1 out. Representing the winning run is Ray Fosse. He's 1 for 4. Flied out in the first. Flied out in the third. Struck out in the fifth and singled in the 8th. Fastball. Pops it up. They call the infield fly rule. Epstein takes it. Cleveland's down to its last out, and Greg Nettles is at the plate. He is 0 for 2. Flied out in the first, walked in the fourth. Flied out in the fifth, and walked in the eighth. My graphic here says that he has 2 game-winning RBIs on the season. You win it with a homer. Swing and a miss, strike one. Fly ball, right field. Lacrosse under it. And that's the ball game. Washington wins 5-2. Washington had 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Cleveland had 2 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors. Jackie Brown gets the win. He is 1-0. While Steve Hargan takes the loss. He's 1-2. Pena, Riddleberger, and Knowles each got a hold, and Janeski gets the save. Report from the clubhouse on Larry Brown. He might be out for a little while. Cleveland left 11 men on base. Washington left 8. Frank Howard homered for Washington, and Ken Harrelson homered for Cleveland. Let's see, the star of the game is Frank Howard. Exactly who I would have picked. Time of the game, 2 hours and 57 minutes. Washington will be back here at Cleveland Stadium tomorrow for a doubleheader. And once again, our final score is Washington 5, Cleveland 2. Hope you enjoyed the game, and thank you for watching.